Hey YouTube, this is Revelation Shared. Um, Making another video today. Just a combination of some of the things and events that are taking place in our nation, because there certainly is a lot of things that could go wrong and could go right on Monday. And I personally, my opinion, I think that their plan is going to fail, you know, in their face. But at the same time, like I talked about in my previous videos, I think that this is really a bigger plan going on here that a lot of people in the body of Christ, and even Alex Jones and other people that have been exposed to the New World Order, really aren't seeing. I go by the name of Revelation Shared. The kingdom is here and now. The type of content that I'm going to be putting out is about the kingdom of God, and we're also going to be talking about the New World Order, because I do believe we are living in a time where we're seeing both. We're seeing an increase of signs, wonders, and miracles, but we're also seeing the enemy's kingdom being manifested, through media, through plans that we have seen, through TV shows and movies. And to find my channel, you simply type in Revelation Shared and click on the filter and select search by channel, and you just type in my name and I should be the first or second one to come up. I'm going to be talking a lot about the Hegelian Dialectic today. In my previous videos, if you really want to catch up on the bigger picture of this plan, I encourage you to come to this channel and check out my first two videos, Excuses for a New World Order Part 1 and Excuses for a New World Order Part 2. So, like I said, the goal of this Hegelian dialectic plan it's really to cause division. It's kind of like a false flag where the government themselves create a fake problem, then people react just like they are today, and they're wanting a solution, but that solution is one that the New World Order themselves wanted to begin with. And a lot of people really haven't heard of this, but those people that have been exposed in the New World Order and in the Antichrist kingdom, they're very aware of this Hegelian dialectic. And I guess I'll show you guys a couple videos to sort of catch up on this plan, because a lot of people still don't know what it is. But I'm going to show you, after you watch these couple videos, that this is precisely what's happening with this whole Russia hacked the election to tip the scales in Donald Trump's favor. I believe it's completely false. But again, the New World Order, apparently they don't care. And I think the end goal is division. But here's a couple videos that's going to give you a basic definition of this Hegelian dialectic plan, because I think it's just better for them to, he communicates it a lot better than I can. So just listen.
The Hegelian dialectic is a very subtle psychological process which can destroy conviction, crumble your conscience, and it can even eliminate every shred of opposition that might exist within you that would make you oppose the exterminating of Christian principles in society. And what is so sick about it is that it is very simple. It is a process which involves three phases, which are thesis, antithesis, and synthesis. The first phase of the Hegelian dialectic is simply presenting the thesis. A thesis is simply the ideologies or the beliefs of a group or of an individual. After this phase is completed, then phase 2 begins, which is the presentation of the antithesis. The antithesis is a completely opposite view from the beliefs or ideals presented in the thesis. This is done to confuse the thoughts of the dissenter or the target group. Then, when phase 2 is completed, phase 3 is initiated, which is the presentation of the synthesis. The synthesis is a compromise between the two radically opposed ideals or beliefs that were presented in the thesis and the antithesis, which brings about a completely new belief system. A completely new belief system which is more than readily accepted by the dissenter or the dissenting group, because it relieves the confusion that was on their mind, and unknowingly now they compromise their own belief system. This process is then repeated a number of times until the dissenter or the dissenters finally give up and accept a new belief system without any more dissent at all. And this is the process that the occult New Age movement is using to destroy Christian principles, Christian values, and to initiate in our society values that are wholly demonic and corrupt in their nature.
Sorry for the, I guess, bad audio and video. I couldn't find the video in higher quality, but I want to show you guys one more video.
Problem, reaction, solution. It's a mind manipulation technique that avoids not only opposition to what is the goal of the manipulators, it actually manipulates people to demand they do what they want to do anyway. You start by secretly creating a problem in the world. You then use the media, which isn't difficult, to wind up public opinion in relation to your manufactured problem to the point where public opinion utters the classic words, "Something must be done. This can't go on. What are they going to do about it?" And at that point, those who created the problem and got someone else to be blamed for it wound up that public reaction, then openly in the public arena, in the parliaments of the world, in the newspapers and on the television, offer the solutions to the problems they have created.
Yep, and you can't tell me that this is not happening right here, right now. What's happening in the media. And I'm going to show you another video that this is happening. And I sort of made this little diagram here. Well, I really just edited a diagram to make it myself. I edited the words and stuff like that. But here it is right here. This is the Hegelian Dialectic that a lot of people don't know about, but people that have been exposed in the New World Order, they know about this plan. And I talk about this plan in my first two videos, Excuses for a New World Order, Part 1 and 2. And this is what's happening. This is the New World Order. They introduced this false, fake plan, that has no backing whatsoever. Barack Obama is signing on it. Russia hacked or influenced the election in favor of Trump, and then they introduced this to the public. Then the media, you have your no Russian influence, and you have the other side, Russia did influence. And this is the goal, to steal it from Trump or cancel or redo the election. Monday is going to be a big day. I personally think this plan will fail, but at the end of the day, the long-term goal of the New World Order is to bring about this division. See, even if it's successful or not, it's going to create more and more division. And I'm not saying that Trump is personally doing these things, but again, the New World Order, they're sort of riding off on a wave of people's hatred towards him. They're using it as fuel to the fire. And I think that, that is an agenda that is taking place. And I have a couple more pictures here. See, I don't know if you can see this, but this is their this is basically the written example of this problem reaction solution, the Hegelian dialectic. It says the government creates or exploits a problem, then blames somebody else. The populace react by asking the government for protection to help solve the problem. The government offers the solution that was planned by them long before the crisis ever occurred. So this is what's happening. This whole this whole idea that Russia hacked and tipped the scales in favor of Donald Trump, this is what they're using. They present it to us. The media is choosing one side against the other side. See, this is the thesis and the antithesis, and they're trying to, draw the synthesis. They want rights, liberties, exchange for the illusion of choice and protection. They want, to try to cancel this whole thing. And, I just think it's really easy for me and many others, to see this. This is a plan that has been, really, really engineered to cause division. And if you don't think this is happening, I'm going to show you a video that this same Hegelian dialectic plan is happening right in front of our face. And I'm not saying Donald Trump is causing it, but they are using this agenda, and it is creating division.
It has been over a month since the U.S. election, but it seems some Democrats are refusing to admit defeat to President-elect Donald Trump. His opponents have tried many tactics to overturn the result, from blaming the FBI to demanding a recount. RT's correspondent Caleb Mopan reports.
Obama seemed so cheerful and supportive back in November.
My team stands ready to accelerate in the next steps that are required to ensure a smooth transition.
So how exactly have the Democrats been preparing for the Oval Office to change hands? Let's review the last month or so, shall we? First, there was explosive panic and racial vitriol.
I'm hearing about a nightmare. They're afraid of, how do I explain this to my children? This was a white lash.
And then the streets filled with protests. Then there were recounts, just in case the original total hadn't been accurate. And then there were calls to scrap the results anyhow, because Clinton had won the popular vote, so who cares how those hillbillies in Ohio voted anyway? And then they decided to blame the Bureau and pitch a fit at the FBI.
I wrote in August, and the FBI director didn't have the decency, the courtesy to even respond to my letter.
Some folks started thinking that it seemed like rigging the elections was too big of a task for a single renegade federal agency. So the story shifted. Suddenly, Hillary Clinton's loss was the result of the personal diabolical efforts of one man, whose first name happened to be Vladimir.
There's no question that Russia has a very robust system of putting out fake news and other types of propaganda.
Intelligence agencies, according to two new published reports, have concluded that Russia was deliberately working to sway the election towards Trump.
NBC News has learned from senior intelligence officials that Russian President Vladimir Putin was personally involved in the campaign to undermine the U.S. election.
After a month of getting their story straight, the Democrats have settled on Putin did it. It's their story, and it's their argument for why the electors should change their vote and prevent Trump from taking office, even though he won the elections fair and square. The Electoral College votes on December 19th, and after that, it's settled. But who knows what will happen, though? The 2016 presidential election has been a roller coaster, and no one can guarantee that the ride is over. Caleb Mopan, RT, New York.
And journalist Amy Horowitz says the Democrats simply need to grow up and move on.
They've been living in this 8-year liberal fantasy world of President Obama, and it's like, whoa, 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 stop the clock. We lost the election, and they can't deal with it. These are people that were hugged too much by their mother. These are people that had participation trophies their entire lives. They're not used to losing, and all of a sudden they realize, wow, I didn't realize loss was a part of life, and they simply can't deal with it. I mean, did you see they had this video where they brought all these retread and old stars from the 90s and the early 2000s, like Deborah Messing and Christine Latte, to come and speak to try to convince the Republican electors not to vote for Trump. This is what it's come down to. I mean, it's pathetic. This is exactly what it's come to. They simply can't wrap their head around the fact that their candidate lost. They're just used to winning.
There you have it. See, I'm telling you, this plan, you can't tell me that this isn't happening. This plan, this Hegelian dialectic is manifested right in our face. They introduced this narrative, and you see the public opinion. People are outraged, and people are saying that no, there's no Russian influence. People are saying that yes, there was. And my personal belief is obviously this Russian hacking thing is false, but it doesn't matter to the world order. They're notorious for pushing out fake stories and then having us both react, and this is their goal. This is the synthesis. They introduce this thesis, and both sides reacting the thesis against the antithesis, and this is the synthesis. This is kind of what they want to do. They want to take it away from Trump and saying this is undermining the Constitution, the things that he did. I personally don't think Donald Trump, is really, the problem, but it doesn't matter to these New World Order, these elites. They need the division to bring about their New World Order. So if you don't think that, I think if you're not seeing this agenda, it's really clear. And like I said, they introduced these agendas subliminally through movies. This Captain America movie that came out that talked about whose side are you on, and this movie came out right when the demonstrations of the Black Lives Matter, this movie came out really, really close when they really added whose side are you on, this red versus blue. I talk a lot about this in my first and second video. So if you want to come to my YouTube channel, Revelation Shared, to really get a bigger overview of this red versus blue, this Hegelian dialectic, please check out my first and second video, Excuses for a New World Order Part 1 and Part 2. I want to thank you for watching this video. If you like this video, please subscribe. As you can see, I have 0 subscribers, but that doesn't matter. I'm still using this as a medium, as a means to communicate what I think is what is taking place. Take care.